What's up, guys? It's day 184. Pulled a bit with the U of T arm wrestling group, which is more like just the same people, just on a weekday. But yeah, I was really sore, like from pulling and like from the rehab workout I did. Because even though I was going super light to make sure I don't get too sore, I still was really sore. Like the next day, I felt my biceps from doing the curls with 10 pounds. Um, and like yeah, like my pronator was like sore to the touch, like just everything. And I was like, I probably shouldn't really pull, but also like I don't know, I was kind of bored, and I'm like, well, if other people want to pull, like like I feel like people have done worse, so I pulled a bit, like not that much, um, and I took an Advil before, so it was like manageable, mostly like my shoulder, like my rear delts. When I'm just stabilizing, just that was the most painful part. Like on my right, I feel like if I had to keep pulling, that would be the limiting factor. But yeah, like my pronator, like wrist felt pretty decent. Actually, the only time my wrist was hurting was when like I was getting up from the floor, like pushing off it by accident. So not even like for arm wrestling, it's pretty good now. I try to work on a bit on my right, that like counter top rolling angle that I was talking about that I maybe lost a little connection in. Um, and I just feel like I used to be able to just almost give my wrist a little bit and just kind of like squeeze and rise, and just everything would just stay there and come back. Um, and I feel like I was able to get that a little bit with like Sheen and Darren. But I don't know, definitely not with Josh, but it's also difficult to tell because with Josh, he's like humping me in right away, and I have to fight that. Um, like this only happens, like I used to get this when I'm pulling like Alex Curie and other like super tall arm guys, because I feel like with like tall arm guys, the first pressure I feel is not the cup, it's the rise, um, and I just be able to match it right away. Um, well, anyways, and then I pulled some left. My left is like sore, but like not too bad. But really, like my wrist is not normal on my left, and I have like absolutely no stability at all. So it feels still really good against hookers, but yeah, like Shane was beating me, like because I think all you need to do is really just have confidence in your like outside, and that like low hand style he has is like perfect to beat me now. And the only reason why I don't lose to every top roller is I think like yeah, well some people maybe their wrists are really really weak too, but I feel like mostly it's just like a patience thing because yeah, like if you like I feel like if you're a top roller that's like any good, you should be able to find a resting spot against my left because my like wrist will just go back so easily, and I have no riser stability at all. But I think the biggest thing is like if you try to rush it, then yes, like I'll be able to find some like purchase, and then I'll be able to pronate out. So like your wrist will go back. But then it's like you just need to not push it past that point. Like you just keep staying on top and wait it, and maybe like keep regripping, and then I'm like I can't ever attack you. So I feel like she like that's he's like good at that. Like it's like because he doesn't really like make any big mistakes, and I feel like if you don't make mistakes and you just top roll, like my left is pretty helpless. Like it's pretty shit. But anyways, yeah. And then on my right, I feel like I actually figured something out on how to get that stop better. Like since I've been thinking about it, and I think it starts off with a lat drag test, similar to how when I pull David, because usually I'll try to not drag. Like I'll try to initiate my pressure with the elbow flexion always first, and if I can't, then shift to the front of the pad. But with David, it's like, okay, I'm going to prioritize my elbow drag. So it's like even if my arm angle drops, I'm going to drag first. And that's the thing that I felt like was like something I had to get used to. And then with Josh, like he just like would throw me to the back right away. And I'm like, I can't just like, if I had to lead with my up pressure, like I could not drag my elbow at all. So I feel like the second time, I think I also went first, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to fucking drag first and whatever. And I think initiating that way and then going to the back corner, I feel like I found a little spot that I can do a really good hold. So that's a good takeaway. I think I can work on that for sure a little bit more. I was talking about, I feel like a little bit unsure on how to like what the like I mean I feel like I know how to defend like sort of broadly, but like I just feel like yeah I didn't have enough reps at that specific position to feel comfortable and like confident. I feel like I'm starting to uh, collect some data on what works and what doesn't. And then on the left, Darren's pronation is like really sticky, but I feel like it was more if if he let me like set up with my rise because he could what I felt is that he if he engages his rise like in the setup like my rise is so weak that I can't even contest it, so I'm just like I don't have a choice, like he'll just beat me there and I have to start low. But if he lets me start with the rise and then I can just go, then I could pin him. And, or if he tries to like low hand, I could pin him. But I feel like if he was really contesting the top strap and then also attacking, I couldn't stop it. So it's I don't know. It's like pretty close. Like I mean, I think I could be in better shape for sure. Maybe I could hook also, but at this point, I don't know. Like Sheen's just basically beating me. Like I feel like me and Darren's pretty close. But I feel like what's funny is I can beat people that they can't beat just off of styles. Um, but yeah, and then um, I pulled with Josh on left a little bit. That's probably the worst mistake because we had a couple where well no we had one where he was really pushing and I had to like and he got me and I feel like that process like there's a ton of pressure on my elbow and that's the one that's really messed up. So I hope I don't feel it too much. Like last night, I was a little worried because I feel like I was making some progress on my elbow just by resting it because it was feeling really horrible for a while. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't pull anymore. My right elbow as well, like it doesn't feel great, but I think I don't think I pushed it that hard. I think it's probably okay. I'll try to do some more rehab again today. It's going to be tough to find a weight light enough for me right now, honestly, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, besides that, I feel like I don't really have much else to talk about. Um, Me and Darren were arguing about whether a high hook is a technique, and I was saying that high hook is like when I think of a technique, it's like I think of it in terms of like what is your move, right? Like off the go, like, and then it's like there's a flow after you initiate, right? But I feel like, and for sure, some people have better flow than others, but um, but yeah, I was just thinking about your basically your move as in your initiation is either outside or inside really, and this idea that like oh high hook is like a little bit of both, and high hook is when you have cup and you have like you control their wrist or whatever, and it's just like that to me is more what appears on the table after you've gone through like for example like I feel like that's where you end up after you've initiated outside, right? And like you've taken hand control, and then you come forward and control their pronator, right? Like that's like the end result. And I just feel like there's no way, like you can't really initiate for a high hook in any like meaningful way because I feel like there's a reason why, right? Like there's outside and inside technique. Like inside technique, as an inside technique, usually involves either some kind of side pressure initiation, right? Like some kind of carve, some kind of like uh, whatever, like supination, like all these like things that go with it, right? And then top roll similarly, right? Like you want to lower your body, you want to do these things. But if you're saying that your technique is, you're both having all that top roll, like you're taking their wrist and at the same time you're just wrist curling their entire pronation, and that's your technique, is like I feel like um, then why isn't that everyone's technique, right? Like I feel like that's not really a serious like technique. Like it's And I was making the analogy that it's like if you're a fighter and you're like, my technique is knocking people out. And obviously that's like way more extreme than this example, but it's essentially like, yeah, but like that's an unrealistic, like there's a reason why like certain techniques are confined to like, certain like lanes and like specifications like I just talked about because yeah, like I could maybe do that to like, you know, a kid, like wrist, cup, like everything at the same time. But I just remember asking people like what their technique is, and they would be like high hook, and I'm sorry, but like I don't know, I just can't take it that seriously. I think it's a little bit silly. Like, I mean, yeah, for sure, like you can top roll and like be really good at adjusting to get wrist control, right? And you can be really good at the flow, as in you know how to control a stop match and get a dominant position. I see all those things, but I feel like that's not your initiation. Your initiation is probably outside that, right? And this like you can't really be like in the middle of your initiation. I mean, you could against a kid, right? Like, and this idea, like Darren was basically arguing that like the difference is that some top rollers choose to bend their wrist a lot, and other top rollers choose not to bend their wrist that much. But that's I think also a very unserious opinion. Like, I mean, and his example was that if you're top rolling against a hooker, wouldn't you rather keep your wrist straight than to bend it? Because if you bend, that lets them like get a deeper like hook kind of. That was sort of I think what he was trying to say, but I just think that's like totally incorrect because like it's the difference is like literally everything else is the same, but either they have pronation or they don't have pronation. So it's like yeah, like I'd rather them not have pronation actually. And I think the thing is that like yeah, for sure, like some guys I guess like end up like top rolling more flat versus maybe some guys roll more like through the bottom of their wrist. I don't know, but I just think it's funny the idea that like there is no wrist pressure or that they would rather keep it flat. The only reason these things appear the way they do is because it's a give and take. Like your like wrist position as a top roller in terms of how much flexion you get is not really up to you. Like if it was up to you, like I feel like that's again going back to like my technique as a like knocking people out. It's like yeah, like if it was up to you, then you could just risk that. That means that implies that you could just wrist curl everyone from like center as much like your degree of wrist flexion when you're top rolling depends on what the other person's technique is, right? So if they're hooking and they're supinating to like like get their keep their wrist, then yeah, then that's what you get, right? If they're top rolling, then you don't get as much cup. It's like it's more reactive to what the other person's technique is, not really something that you get to decide totally. And I think like the only like, and Darren actually didn't make this argument, but I would make it for him. I think the only way that like you would ever really like say high hook is bad for pronation is if your style is like a Devin King's move where like you actually kick back, right? That would be an example of where like maybe you would prefer to do that because your pronation is a lot stronger that way. But in terms of low handing a hooker, and would you rather keep your wrist straight? Like first of all, you can't keep your wrist straight. Like you can't kick back that like I feel like what they're saying is that like yes, like when you're new, like I felt this too, like when I'm very new, sometimes I feel like when I'm weak and I can't do anything, it's like I feel like if I bend my wrist, I feel like they're coming inside too, and I'm giving them my pronation at the same time. But to be honest, I feel like that's just because like you're weak as fuck, and that's not like a serious like the idea that like when someone gives up their pronation, right? Like if you can't take that and still keep your outside, I feel like that just means you're shit. Like that, because that should always be better, right, than not having it. And at the highest level, like I feel like this is something that you just need to work on, like getting better at low handing and get over. Like if you're talking about like Mindaugas, like I don't think he's worried about like, oh my god, I have cup now. Like my pronation is going to be like so much weaker. Like I feel like if you just get good enough, you learn how to take that and keep your pronation, right? Like I feel like yeah, like if you're a beginner, I understand the feeling because I think that, but that just comes from your pronation is totally shit. So like freaking a breeze like can blow and like your pronation is defeated, right? So I feel like that's not really a serious like concern if at the highest level about like oh like they're giving up their pronation like oh no but anyway, so that's what sort of my little take on the high hook thing. And I think I know what a high hook looks like, and I feel like a high hook is cool. Um, but and I think some people definitely like pull in that shape more than others. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying that the initiation can't be for everything at the same time. Like I just feel like, when most people say they're a high hooker, I feel like they're just top rolling and then, you know, they can flow into a high hook. But anyways, yeah, I didn't really have much to talk about, so I figure I'd just rant about this maybe. I think that's all. And yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you for coming home. Sorry that the chairs are all warm. I left them here, I could have sworn. These are my salad days, slowly being eaten away. Just another play for today. Oh, but I'm proud of you, but I'm proud of you. Nothing left to make me feel small. Luck has left me standing so tall. Gold, always believe in your soul. You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe it, 'cause you are gold. Like that you're bound to return. There's something I could have learned. You're indestructible. Always believe it. After the rush has gone, I hope you find a little more time. Remember we were partners in crime. It's only 2 years ago, the man with the suit and the face, who knew that he was there on the case. Now he's in love.